Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 33rd episode of the Dojo Kun Shill Shack. I am Brian, also called Dojo by those who know me, and we've got a packed show today, which I'm very happy to say. We've got some great creators. We're going to talk about some interesting angles and methodologies, and my co-host returning again to the show. Every now and then he comes on, and glad to have him because he's always loaded with great questions. Let's say hi to Smiling Bandito. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing great. Hail and well met. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, sir. Very well. Excited to have this show streaming from a different location tonight, but all is well. We'll just soldier on. We've got at least 3, if not 4 guests to talk to about their campaigns, maybe even 5 if somebody else gets the message and comes aboard. Nope, it looks like he's not ready today.
You strung me along for a minute there, and now...
Oh, was I gone?
No, you strung me along with the hope of Luke coming on.
Yeah, let's hope he gets the message and can join us. I just checked my DMs, and he hasn't responded yet. So speaking of Luke, let's go ahead and bring on his co-conspirator. Justin, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
As we were looking at your campaign, we noticed that Luke Stone is involved. And,
yes.
Had I known, I definitely would have invited him to be on the show with you. But what I do is I send him a quick DM to see if he can join us, and we'll see if he can do that for us.
Okay. But yeah, he's definitely he's the leader, kind of. I mean, not really. Like, I'm the creator and everything, but he's doing all kinds of other stuff. He's not doing the colors, but
he's multi-talented. Yes.
Yeah, we got Edgar Tavitas on colors. He's kind of an outlier, and but we're making him some money. That's for sure.
All right, awesome.
We're spreading him around.
Well, we'll talk about how we're making him some money in just a few minutes. Next up, let's bring in Anthony Gambino, and let's see here, his co-conspirator, Julius.
Hey.
I'm glad you could be here as well.
Thanks for having me. And thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. We're going to talk about Vigilant Fury in just a few minutes here, but we're also going to have on our panel RJ from Critical Blast to talk about the novel he's involved in. Great to have you here, RJ.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. So what we'll do is we'll start with Justin's project. And Justin, what I'll do in order to get right into one of your main topics is I'm going to go ahead and share screen and bring up your campaign, because there's some interesting things that you're doing that not everyone is. Do this and then add it to the stream, and here we are. So as you can tell, folks, this is not Indiegogo. It's not Kickstarter. Justin, what is this?
So this is what's known as a Google form. This is a survey that you can create through Google Forms that typically you'll find, maybe maybe a professor will use this to create a test or pop quiz for their students. And so you can create different series of questions. You can do multiple choice, true, false, that kind of thing. Or you can do small answer or long answer. And so using this form, you can actually create questions that retrieve data about the people that are backing your campaign.
Okay. So, you know what? I'm sorry, I neglected to do something that's very important. Let's do that for a moment here. And that is to say, hey, to the folks in the chat. I see that Smiling Bandito is here on panel and in the chat. We've also got Hex Allen. Thanks for being here, Hex. Let's see here. Big Boy Robo, thanks for joining us in the show.
Oh yeah, Big Boy Robo. He's one of my biggest fans right now.
Really? Awesome.
Yes,
well, glad you're here. And then, of course, we've got RJ both on the panel and in the chat. Thanks for saying hi. So, Smiling Bandito and I were talking, Justin, before you guys came into the back room about your campaign here. And there's a couple of things that we want to ask you about. And, of course, you can walk us through the form as you have it set up. But so what you're saying is this is our opportunity to sign up for your mailing list, right?
Correct.
Okay, so if I scroll down, I'm assuming it's right here where it says email.
Yep.
But what we don't see here is how to submit. Am I right in guessing it's way down here at the bottom?
Correct. So I probably need to alter this one. I can put in, okay, that's a great question. So you can do this long form like this. So you scroll all the way through all the updates and the art, or you can put sections in. And those sections, you can make them other pages. So you can click through different pages to get to the end.
Okay. Well, I think either one would be good. I think you could either require them to scroll through all of these and have their email entry down here by the submit button, or you could bring the submit button up to where email entry is. Now, let me also ask you this. It shows that I am in an account by my current email. Does that mean I've already signed up?
It means that's your if you have a Gmail account, then you're already a Google, like that's your Google.
Yeah, you're logged in to Google.
You're logged into Google.
I see. Okay.
Now,
so you would still need me to put my email address here in order to sign up for Chrome Dog.
Correct.
Okay.
And so that's a good question, because that might be a point of where people think, oh, they see their email and then they just close out and they don't actually sign up. So
right, because they might assume that they're already on your list because it's right there.
Right. Okay. I'll need to look into that. See what I can do there. But I want to take this moment. Google, knowing that you're signed into their platform, right? Some folks are going to be a little more leery about Google, having their personal data and all that stuff saved in their forms. And so I've heard through different people have told me that Proton Mail, that's what it is. Proton Mail has similar operations, similar things, and it's a encrypted email, things like that, and they don't do the data mining like Google is notorious for.
Okay.
And so I am exploring the idea, at least. I just haven't sat down to look into it, but I definitely, when I go to launch my campaign, I want to make people as comfortable as possible. I want them to have transparency and to know that that their data is as safe as it can be with me. And if they're not comfortable with a Google form, I want to give them an option elsewhere. But the way I'm getting payment is I'll be sending either I'll probably have a PayPal me link, or I can send a PayPal invoice if they would prefer, or I can do Venmo. So that's how I'm.
It might be good to give them different options like that, but on the other hand, you got to be careful not to make it too difficult for yourself to do all those things. It may behoove you to say my payment method will be I'll send you a PayPal invoice.
That's true. That's true. Well, and that is my preferred PayPal method. I mean, payment method is to send that PayPal invoice, because this form with the PayPal invoice is a proven method that I've had from a previous hobby that I was into, and I did crowdfunding that way. In that, we call them group buys, and so essentially it's the same order process. Okay. And once I collect enough money, and it's enough to be able to take that money to the manufacturer to have the item made, then I consider it fully funded, and then I'll put in that order, and then when it comes in, I'll do fulfillment. So I mean, I've done this numerous times and had really good success with that other hobby. So I'm just bringing what I know to this one.
You know, that raises another good question, and that is there a place in here that I can see, not now, of course, because you haven't launched, but will there be a place where I can see how close you are to funding?
That's a good question. Yes, I may have to be manual on that. So what I may have to do is, as I send invoices and people pay them, then, because I did that with my previous group buys, so I kept people in the loop. But the way I did it there is that previous hobby I would use. We had specific forum that that everyone that was interested in that thing would go to, and so I had a forum post that I would just update with the numbers as they came in, and so it may come to something like that that I would need to do. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I plan to be as transparent as humanly possible with all of my contact information. Like, people are going to be able to reach out and touch me. Hopefully not physically, because it's like and all that this day and age. Geez.
You don't want to get them to the point where they want to choke you or something.
Right.
So as an internal auditor, fraud examiner, anti-money laundering specialist, the transparency thing is very important to me too. I want to make sure that, where I'm sending this money, if I'm backing a project, it's safe, and not just my PII, personally identifiable information, but also the money itself, that it's not going to just go to the void. Right. You said that you've had a previous hobby that you've done this with, but this is your first comic book publication, right?
This is that is correct. Yes.
Okay.
But I have an idea to instill some confidence in folks, and we'll see what happens. But I've reached out to 6 a.m. Comics, and he's actually going to be doing a sticker version design for me of Chrome Dog in an action pose. Awesome. And I want to make that into a sticker, and put a price on that, and then run a campaign for that, so that if people can buy as many stickers as they want, and knowing that those funds are going to go towards helping me fund my book. With the idea that if I can get backers for that, I'll get the stickers, I'll fulfill the stickers, and I'll prove that I'm trustworthy enough for that little amount, so that they'll come back and trust me for the next.
Well, it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Can't
fault you for that. That's a good idea. And 6 a.m. draws some awesome pics.
Yes, he does.
I don't know if you noticed in my trailer, but there's a 6 a.m. Magnet available on my campaign. I think he does some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so everyone has to have a 6 a.m. sticker.
Yeah,
it's a part of the checklist.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage.
Which I'm sure Mark doesn't object to whatsoever.
Not one bit.
So, all right, enough about the mechanics. Tell us about the project.
All right, so if you scroll all the way down, you'll see the original inks for this design, and you'll notice there's two little shadows back there behind or shadows. They're like silhouettes of two different celestial orbs. You'll see behind in the background
here.
Yeah, and so so Chrome Dog is it's basically it's going to be a story about this fish out of water type character who kind of comes to in a world that he doesn't recognize, because he's battling amnesia. He has terrible insomnia, but he's kind of trapped in this body, and he's just trying to figure what life is, figure life out as he goes. And so it's kind of a journey for, the readers are going to be taking this journey with him for at least the first 4 issues.
It's like a modern day. It's like a modern day werewolf. He went out into the forest, got bit, wakes up as a werewolf.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, there's, but
got to figure out what life is. Got to figure out what life is like now.
Yeah. I guess that works. But yeah,
so obviously this is not Earth.
Correct. So let's scroll up and see the live and living color that Edgar Tavitas really makes pop here.
And who did the line work?
So the line work that's Luke Stone.
Okay.
So all the line work is Luke Stone, and then I handed it off to our colorist Edgar Tavitas. He lives in Mexico. He's a super guy, and he's really good with colors. It only took just a little bit of direction, and he made this thing just sing. So this cover here is special to me. As far as like in the way that I'm presenting it is there's no, you'll see there's no logo there. And that's because I want to showcase the 2 moons. And so I have, depending on, what happens with those stickers, and then, going forward, the initial idea is that this first offering that I'm doing is an 8-page, full color, kind of first part, you could say, like maybe the first act of the whole. Yes, but I don't like that word, so I'm calling it a short shot. Okay, because it's not an ash can. It's not an ash can because ash cans are typically black and white, and they're full of random sketches or things that cutting room floor stuff. And I want my readers and customers to realize that they're getting a complete story, full color. Like I want them to get accustomed to the quality of what the rest of the story is going to be, the full 24-pager. And so in this initial offering, the idea that I have, and credit goes back to Luke Stone, is I'm wanting to do a chromium cover to really shine, really highlight and shine not only Chrome Dog here, but also those 2 celestial bodies, which is Lux and Proximo. Those are the 2 moons of this strange new world that he finds himself in. And not only will the cover look like this and not have that logo, on the inside of the front cover is going to be where that logo appears first for the readers. And then the back, the very back page is or very back cover is going to be, because it's chromium. I'm giving Luke that space for a hybrids ad. And then on the inside back cover, I'm giving space to Clint Stoker to put. Hopefully, he can put a really cool Downcast ad in there, but he can put whatever he wants in there. I'm just giving that to him.
Downcast is incredibly well
It
written.
is, and I mean, I can't wait to crack open more than just the first issue. I just got my my spring campaign from Alterna.
Oh, okay.
So I'm ready. I'm
going catch up.
Yeah, I need to catch up for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much that's the book. I mean, inside that front page, it's going to be the logo, and then some credits, and maybe the little blurb of what's the little synopsis. But anyway,
so we have a little bit of layouts here.
Yep, that's the first page. That's page 1 layouts. The inks are done. I just don't have the perfected version, or else I would have it in there to show off as well. And then,
so this is why you were saying you wanted to do a virgin version without the trade dress, because you've got this, and it obscures one of the moons entirely.
Correct.
Would you consider maybe putting the logo smaller and like right here?
Yeah, I definitely would consider that for sure.
I know that there was one by Tyler Kirkham. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Smiling Manito.
Because that logo will really pop when you put it in Chrome as well.
Yeah, so I've got 3. Well, I guess you could say 4 variants of that logo. And one of them is probably going to pop a whole lot better because it's you just have to so that logo is not, as if you scroll it up a little bit, you'll see that it says that it's not final.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with this other logo version for this issue. So what you're looking at there is going to be the actual issue number 1, the non-chromium version. And also in that chromium, it's only going to be a limited number, and then once they're gone, they're gone. So
Nice.
I'm trying to keep it super limited. It's really
keep it collectible.
Yeah, keep it collectible, and then as a fundraiser for the full book. That's the initial idea. But if the stickers hit really good, then we'll see what happens.
Well, what I'm seeing so far is already coming together. I mean, I'll trust the process and that you have something cool coming out for us. And really, though, if this is a modern day werewolf story, then you should have Clint Stoker put Dracula in the back cover.
Well, so I mean, I appreciate you trying to draw this line and say that he's a werewolf, but
modern day retelling.
Not quite.
No, not even close.
Okay.
I have a question about the picture.
But I like it. Okay.
Because you made it clear that he's not on Earth because there's 2 moons, but there's a Ferris wheel and a roller coaster. So did he wake up on a new planet, or did like an entire area of Earth wake up on a new planet?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. So he wakes up on this new world. And yeah.
And they also happen to have Ferris wheels and roller coasters?
Yeah, as you're experiencing it with him, yes. They just happen to have that. So the city is called Epsilon City. And this park that he's haunting right now, it's one of his favorite haunts. That's another little spoiler. It's one of his favorite haunts is to haunt this amusement park, typically by day. It's kind of like, how Bruce Wayne has Bruce Wayne has Wayne Manor, and then he has the Bat Cave. So Chrome Dog, or so-called Chrome Dog, because the guy, his name is actually Scratch. That is his moniker. That's what like people who know him call him. But he's so-called, like the authorities, everybody else, they call him Chrome Dog because he looks like a chrome dog.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, right. It is. But so it's kind of like it's a throwback. I'm doing a lot of throwbacks to what I really liked about comics when I was growing up. And Spider-Man, right? Like and Daredevil even, those weren't names that they gave themselves. Those were names that society gave them. Those were names that the authorities, the newspapers, if I'm not mistaken, J. Jonah Jameson, I think he coined Spider-Man in the comics. If I'm wrong, I'm sure the internet will tell me, but I'm pretty sure. And so with that, as an homage to that, that's kind of what's going on here. So back to where he lives. So this is his Wayne Manor, and then he has another place that's his Bat Cave that will come up later on.
Okay.
It doesn't come up.
Issue?
No, further in the same issue. It just doesn't come up. Yeah, it won't come up in the first 8 pages of the preview story.
All right.
So, but this is his Wayne Manor, so to speak. And so by day he because he has insomnia, right? And he's for all intents and purposes, we'll say a machine. He can't. He can't sleep or whatever. So he's using his.
I identify so well with this character.
So at night he fights crime, but he also works for criminals. So there's some weird things happening there.
So this is an anti-hero.
Yeah, but the best kind, because he has a cause. He has a cause, and he has lines that he's not going to cross.
Okay.
Justin just doesn't like to put any of our conceived labels on
Right.
Chrome Dog.
I will say this. Two major inspirations for him that I'm sharing with people. And you can draw your own conclusions when I say this, but there's Sleepwalker, if you remember from
Marvel.
From Marvel, and Deathlock. So if you take Sleepwalker and Deathlock, you're gonna get somewhere close, but not you're not even. I'm coming at this thing with a complete fresh. Like I've got just man, I just can't wait. I really can't wait.
Luke's influence is maybe Anubis.
Yeah, and I'm digging it. Yeah, I'm digging it. I love like Anubis. I love the Anubis design in pretty much everything I ever see him in. Yeah, but yeah,
all right.
Night crossover in 5, 4, 3.
And who knows? Anubis may show up at some point. Way later.
So non-committal.
But what I can commit to is the fact that the city that he protects and that he lives in and where this giant amusement park is, which was loosely based off of Coney Island, mixed with some Atlantic City, mixed with Pacific Park, of course, in Santa Monica.
Mixed with Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, mixed with
yeah. But sure, but on scale,
he's actually the Mickey Mouse of this Disneyland.
Well, maybe something. Anyway, maybe there's something to that one. I'll just leave it at that. But so it's Epsilon City is this mega city. It's essentially this world is divided into different sectors, and this slice of it is known as Epsilon Sector, and then eventually would become Epsilon City as modernity and everybody like pushed to the boundaries of it. And there's a lot of cultural things going on in the stories that are maybe reminiscent of certain things that have taken place on this planet, and the struggles that mankind has had here. But I'm looking forward to really exploring those themes and those things in Chrome Dog's universe and in his backyard, so to speak. So
if this art isn't enough to grab your attention, all of this intrigue is like, now I think I got to back it just to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah, because oh man, there's other sectors that are going to come into play later on, and I cannot wait. And
all right, so for the time being, if people want to sign up, the first thing they need to do is put their email here, which is about a third of the way down, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and hit submit, please.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
That's for the time being. I mean, you might be able to fix that soon. But what that would do is just make it clearer.
Yeah, I can fix it in real time.
Okay.
It'll probably go through if you just hit the enter button too.
No, I tried it.
Oh, never mind then.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing this one, and we are going to ask some others to step up and talk about their campaign. We'll talk about Anthony and Julius's campaign, which is, let me get to it, Vigilant Fury. So I got to share my screen, and we will go there next.
Vigilant Fury.
Yeah. Sounds good already. So yeah, whoever wants to sort of take the reins here and tell me, what you'd like us to have a look at. I see 6 hours left. That's alarming, guys.
No.
Tell us about this.
It's okay. Before we start, though, Brian, would you mind refreshing your page?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I'm just
37.
There we go.
A little bit more.
That's awesome.
A little bit more money, but less time. So let's go.
Yeah, right. Not fast. Is there? I was going to ask if there was a trailer. Do you want me to go through?
No, there's no trailer. I ran out of time. I wanted to make a trailer, but I ran out of time. So we're going to extend the campaign
Okay.
This is just the
for
first
another
month?
30 days.
This is only the first 30 days.
Yeah, this is the first month.
You guys are doing
there'll
great.
be a trailer.
Yeah.
What was that?
You guys are doing great.
Yeah, thank you,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going steadily along. You know, it's getting there little by little. We just got to get more eyes on it and get more people involved and not just involved, but also like check out the campaign, because there's a lot we're offering in this campaign, especially Anthony. Anthony has been gracious to provide his artistic services to backers when they back some of our perks. And so there's a lot of opportunity to purchase a lot of original commission work, original pages from the book that he hands drawn. So you see that wall behind him? That's all the pages that he draws by hand. So there's an opportunity to get that. He offers sketch cards. So there's a lot of heavy artist perks for this campaign.
I'm going to solo him for a second so we can see what you're talking about behind him.
Yeah. It's all
okay.
look at all that beautiful black and white inks there.
Right. Okay, cool.
So I'm taking a page out of some animation textbooks that I've studied in school, and we learned about how a lot of them will put sticky notes up on a wall and just with quick storyboards to kind of get the sequence and step back and make sure everything reads well as a story, and I'm doing that with my pages.
Okay, nice. Great. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
And it also makes for nice decoration for doing these shows.
That's right.
Yeah.
But to answer your question from before, Brian, I think it'll be best to just keep scrolling down instead of going through the slideshow.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go back to that then. Right here. Okay.
And I will have a trailer done hopefully maybe by the end of the week. So I'll definitely add a trailer to the campaign.
And, we didn't have a trailer for my vast audience? I mean, what the heck?
I know, but shame on me. Well, shame on me for dropping the ball on that one.
If you have us back on closer to the end of the campaign, if you would be so
then we'll have the trailer for you.
I even have a better idea. You have an idea for the trailer in mind, right? Just act it out for us right now.
There you go.
Let me get my wig. Hold on.
I got to get a wig on and everything.
Hey, you have hair.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want to hear about it.
Long hair though.
All right. So the featured perk here is one of the things you were talking about, where there's a commission involved. Tell us about this one.
Go for it.
All right. Cool. So the featured perk is our commission bundle. Like Julius mentioned, we're using this campaign since we're both kind of new in the indie game. We're focusing a lot on the story and the artwork and trying to establish ourselves a little bit. And like Justin said, building trust. So the hope is that people respond well to the story and the artwork, and in order to do that and to hopefully boost that interest a little bit, we're offering a lot of original art. And our commission bundle, our featured perk, is a 9x12 hand-drawn black and white commission with a copy of the book, which is 84 pages. It's a nice, chunky, one-shot graphic novel, along with prints from other talented artists, not me. So that's a discounted rate because I usually charge $75 just for the 9x12 commissions. So we are trying to build interest with these discounted rates and the original art. And that's what that is.
This tier looks to be a very good value.
Thank you.
Particularly if we are, I see here, this looks like the xenomorph, right? This picture here on the left.
Yeah.
I put that there just as an example of what a commission might entail.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
If I get this bundle, for example, I can then direct you perhaps to do one of my IPs as a commission?
Absolutely. And thank you for asking, because that was going to be the next point. We're encouraging people who back this perk. If you have something specific that you want, please reach out to us whatever way you want. Julius and I are easily accessible through DMs in Twitter and Instagram. You can email us through the campaign directly. But if you have something you want, just request it, and that'll be it. If we don't hear from you once the campaign ends, and you have one of these commissions, then I will do a commission of a character from the book. So that's kind of what the deal we're doing for the commissions and for the sketch cards as well.
Okay, as I have an IP, I think that would be very, it would be very well represented in black and white. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
Very nice.
So that very well may be the perk I grab. But let's talk about the other ones.
Sweet.
Or if you want to talk about the story itself, maybe we should start there. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Julius. That's all you.
Yeah, so the story is about Angela Perez, is the woman that you see there in the cover of the book, and she goes on vacation to Florida, and she is taken from her Airbnb home, and she finds herself inside a container on a container ship heading straight to the Atlantic, and she realizes that no one's coming to save her, or the other victims who are on the container with her. And so she decides to, instead of just waiting around for someone to save her, or eventually ending up in a horrible situation, she decides to fight back. And that's pretty much the gist of the story. She just decides to fight back, and she realizes that she is held hostage by monsters, and realizes the only way to get out is that she herself has to become a monster, a killing machine, essentially. And not only a killing machine, but a very, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? A very slick, kind of like, instead of going head on, she is going to have to be a lot more smarter. Kind of like the analogy I like to use is like a fox going up against a pack of wolves.
She's
A fox is not going to go toe to toe with the wolf. He's going to figure out a way to trick them and to sneak up behind them or figure things out. So that's essentially her approach to getting away from this, getting off this container ship with the other victims in tow as well.
So I read in here that, it says, yep, this is in black and white, because what better way to tell a story like this? So yeah, talk to us about that decision.
Yeah, Anthony and I were going back and forth about whether or not we wanted to do this in color. And we just eventually concluded that the best approach is black and white, given the fact how dark and heavy this story is when I completed the script, because it is pretty. Even though it's action packed, it's very bloody and violent. Because, like I said, she has to kind of dig deep into her killer instinct, essentially, to get to her freedom. And so we thought, let's keep it in black and white, kind of pay homage to like Frank Miller when he, for Sin City, and all the other great black and white books that have come out.
The Day More Red.
Yeah, there you go, another one. And also there's another one by I can't remember the name of the artist now. He did a lot of crime books too. Very famous crime noir writer. He did a lot of books for Image. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That's gonna bug me now. But we wanted to keep it in black and white for the sake of, because essentially this is like almost like a mixture of crime noir, but with a thriller, mixed with a thriller. And so Anthony's inks are just perfect. They were perfect for the story, and that's exactly what I was looking for too. When I was looking for the artist for the story, when I was developing the story, I was imagining who would be a good fit for this story, and the only names that popped up were like Eduardo Rizzo from 100 Bullets, and Frank Miller. So when I found Gambino's stuff, when he reached out to me on Twitter, and I was looking at his stuff, I was like, I think this is the guy. This is the guy that's gonna be the perfect fit for this story. And I can't wait for you guys to see the rest of the pages. I know there's only 8 pages on the campaign, but once you start seeing the story and you start reading it, you're going to be blown away by his work. I really am excited for you guys to check that out. Did we lose him? Did we lose Dojo?
Yes. Welcome to the Bandito Show.
What happened? We're going downhill.
That was a seamless transition.
When the cat's away, the rats will play.
Well, and that sounds really exciting when stuff like that just falls into place, and then everything kind of grows from there, as opposed to trying to force everything into to fit and pushing forward, trying to build the plane while it's in the air. So good to hear that you got the right artist, that you have the right person to represent your work, your writing.
Yeah,
and
it was It was something. It was quite something to behold because, that was what I had in mind. And then when I put out the tweet that I was looking for an artist, and of course when you do that, what happens? You get flooded with a bunch of
100%.
artists,
Yeah.
Right.
sending you their samples, and consider me, that kind of stuff. And a lot of great artists, responded, but it wasn't the right fit to what I was looking for. And then right when I was about to give up on Twitter and just I guess I have to go to a web forum of some kind or Deviant Art or something like that. Yeah, and I'll just go there. But then out of nowhere, just out of the blue, he sends me a message, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
you slipped the folder under your door, and
yeah, essentially. All thanks to
Rob.
Yeah, to Rob. He's the one who made it happen.
Yeah, I fully expected it to be just one of those artists annoying Julius with their stuff. But luckily it worked out, and it's been a great experience so far.
Excellent. Well, that's very good to hear, because the rapport between artist and writer is important, because the artist is just as much a storyteller as the writer is, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we've been helping each other out quite a bit. Luckily, we're both professionals who are able to just leave the ego at the door, and if I have some notes or questions on writing, I talk to Julius about it. And if he has notes or questions on my thumbnails or whatever images, he will do a sketch over it and submit it and say, hey, I was kind of thinking of something more like this. Can you do that? And 9 out of 8 times, it's the better option. So
9 out of 8. Well said.
So yeah, it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah, it's you're right, Dojo, when you say that it is important for an artist to have a strong collaborative relationship with the artist, because if you don't have that I guess connection, then your book will suffer in the end, and the reader will pick up on it, and then it all falls apart. And so far, everything has been no pun intended, smooth sailing since we started on the project. And like I said before, I'm really excited for you guys to read this story. It's an action-packed story. Once the action starts, it's 50 plus pages of pure action. So it was really tough. I'll admit it was tough to write, because I had never written something so long. And originally it was supposed to be 40 pages long, a 40-page one-shot book. And the more I started writing, the more more pages started being added. And at first I was like, oh man, maybe I'm overwriting this. But the more I kept going back to edit it and try to shrink it, I felt that it was hurting the story. It was hurting the overall presentation of what I wanted to show on the page. So I decided to I'm just gonna follow my instinct, and I'm going to just kind of trust it. And then once I finished the script, I handed it over to Anthony, and I say, hey, read this over. Let me know what you think. If it's too long, let me know, or we can do some cuts. If just let me know. Just be brutally honest with me, because I don't want this to drag on, essentially, right? Because that's the fear. You don't want to give the reader something where it feels like it's dragging on and it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't want them to be going, all right, already.
Exactly. And so
at the same time, I think it was too
Anthony
short, doing a disservice to the topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things take a life of their own, and you've got to tell the story that's allowing itself to come out.
Yep.
Exactly. And to
exactly,
Julius's
yeah.
credit,
And so I don't know, Anthony. What do you think when you read the script? Did you feel that way when you read it, or
I was just about to say, to your credit, I mean, this kind of story could have very easily been a wham bam thank you ma'am 1 2 3 like cheesy 80s action flick, but with the breadth of the subject matter and with everything in the story and the depth of the character and her development and the side characters as well, I was a little concerned at first when I started seeing, okay, it's going to be like 40, 50 pages. And then a couple weeks later, I'm at like 60-ish.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to keep it at 70. And then here's 84. And when I was like, dude, I was like, you just doubled the book, homie. I was like, what are we doing here? But when I
Sorry.
no, I'm getting to my point. Like Julius said, she's the fox. So her actions couldn't just be bam, 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 beating up a bunch of bad guys. She's calculated. She's methodical. She's the Ellen Ripley, the Sarah Connor of this story. So
I was going to say she couldn't suddenly be Power Ranger Angela, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
She's not going to have, you know, Kryptonian abilities all of a sudden. So
No.
yeah.
Exactly. And she's going up without giving any spoilers away. She'll be going up against some pretty big dudes. So she had to use the maze-like structure of the shipping containers. She had to use the shadows and the height and the different compartments of the ship and the levels of the ship. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's very much a cat and mouse kind of hunting ground, which really transformed the story as opposed to just a cheesy action story, because it's not cheesy by any means. I tried to make it cheesy in some points, and Julius was like, no funny. I was like, all right, fair enough.
All right, guys, we're at Q2, so let's
yeah.
go ahead and look at the perks that are available, because we definitely want to get to RJ's book as well.
Yes.
Sure.
So at level 0, I see we've got what's BTS digital?
Totally fine. Vigilant Fury behind the scenes digital copy.
Behind the scenes, okay.
Yes. So we're offering a supplemental 48-page companion book that is all behind the scenes stuff,
Wow.
thumbnails, character designs, process shots of the penciling and inking and reference photos, sample scripts from Julius, articles that he included for me for reference. I'm probably
An ash can.
stuff. An ash can, yeah. Yeah.
Shh.
Don't listen, Justin.
Hey,
So-
Guys, I'm gonna step away for a minute, but I'm gonna come back on my phone because my wife is leaving and I have to watch the little one. So I'm gonna come back on
Okay.
my phone. So I'll be right back.
All
No
right.
worries.
So yeah, Anthony, if you could continue on with
absolutely.
the tiers.
Absolutely. I'll try to speed it up a little bit. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the behind the scenes book. We wanted to give people a little glimpse in of what goes into making a story like this. And as an artist, I love seeing this behind the scenes stuff in trades and other people's campaigns. So we wanted to offer that to people. So there's a digital copy and a physical copy of both the graphic novel and the behind the scenes book. They're
Okay.
also available as add-ons. Everything is pretty much an add-on as well. If
So-
people miss it at first.
Here's an important point. This is the physical copy of the book.
Yep.
84 pages.
Yep.
$15.
That's it.
wow.
That's
Holy moly.
a hell of a deal right there. That's what that is.
That is
Yeah.
That's what happens when you price the book when you're still thinking you're going to write 40 pages.
No. that comes with that's another added bonus of doing the book in black and white. So we were able to keep that price point once we realized, what it would be as opposed to printing it in color too. So
Okay.
there's that.
Oh, we have several people joining the show. Hey, kids. No problem. Okay, continue then. That's
Yes.
an amazing deal. So what do we? So we have a sketch card tier.
Yep, we have a sketch card on its own. When I did my first campaign last year, I actually found that a lot of people wanted just a sketch card, which is totally cool. They didn't back the book, but they did want a sketch card, which is extremely humbling, and I'm happy to do that. So we're offering that by itself.
Oh, I like your sample here as Abe Sapien.
Yeah,
That's
thank
cool.
Thank you. That was one of my favorite ones that I did. Ton of fun.
All right. Then we've got the combined physical tier. So you get both the graphic novel and the behind the scenes. Awesome. Still a fantastic price point for that. Sketch card bundle is pretty easy to understand. You get a sketch card with the book. So at this point, if the book is 15, that means this sketch card is technically only 10. That's
correct.
Another great deal. You guys have really great value on your campaign here.
Thank you.
Hey, Tony, if you could scroll back up for a second, Dojo, am I seeing a Last Supper homage there?
No. That's funny, but no.
Interesting. Wow, I never caught that.
Interesting.
I was thinking The Sopranos, but okay.
A little bit more along the lines of Sopranos, I think.
All right, so tell us about this one real quick. What's going on with this logo bundle?
So I'm also a graphic designer. I've been designing for comics for 6 years now, and I see a lot of people are looking for logos, but they don't always know where to go for them. So I'm offering that. I usually charge $100 as a freelancer for logos. So you're essentially getting the book for free with this perk. And if you need a logo for your project, then you essentially are hiring me through the campaign instead of directly as a freelancer.
Okay. And by doing so, you get more eyes on the book. I like it.
Yep.
And original art bundle. Okay, so it's obvious what that means. Tell us about how the page selection occurs.
So page selection occurs kind of the same way as the commissions. If you want a specific page, it's first come, first serve. Reach out to us. If we don't hear from you, then we'll send you a page at random, but I will do my best to make sure the main character is on the page.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
No promises there, but there's 20 of them available. There's 84 pages. Chances are he's going to be able to do that for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then the Gambino special. It sounds like something.
Oh man, what a deal! This is a deal, huge deal.
This is like at Vincenzo's restaurant.
This is a copy of the book. This is an 11 by 14, not a 9 by 12 commission. 3 sketch cards and 3 pages of original art from the book. So if you like my work and you're a collector of original art, this is the one to get and should not be passed up.
No kidding. This is a great deal on this one. 3 pages of art, 3 sketch cards, the book, and a commission. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. So yeah,
I'm telling you, Anthony was really gracious with his with his pages.
I'm pimping
myself. So I mean,
out,
if you
guys.
think about it, he's saying he's willing to do 5 commissions, 15 sketch cards with this tier alone. Then if we go back up to the featured tier, is there a limit to this one?
15. So there's 12 remaining.
12 remaining. Okay, I see. So wow, that's a lot of commissions, dude.
I'm ready.
You're ready. All right, bring it.
I'm already doing 84 pages. Why not?
Yeah. That's another 35. I mean, look at that.
Oh my god.
I don't care.
So he's.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say I was lucky. I was lucky to have found Anthony because he. When we were like putting this together, I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?" Because and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it. Come on, it's for the campaigns, for the book. Let's go for it." I was like, "All right, let's go for it." So
yeah, folks, this is
Get
an
on
amazing value for this book, for this project, for the things you can get on the tiers. It says 5 hours, but for any of you who have joined us since they started talking, this is 5 hours remaining in the first 30, and they're going to extend the campaign into the next 30.
For sure.
That's
All right, cool. So we're going to stop sharing that. We've got to give RJ some time to talk about his campaign. So
you don't have to.
Well, yeah, we do. I invited you on, man. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to share once again.
And we do have a video, so
okay.
Feel free to play with sound because there is actually one thing of the campaign that you only see in the video. So
all right, well, let's start with that then. Oh, hold on. I've got to share. Doggone it. Boomer at least once every time. All right, so now let's go to, here we are.
We've crossed paths more than once. I've whispered in your ear, shown you harmless little temptations. I am unknowable, yet you know me intimately. But you can always know me better. Collected here are 20 twisted tales that will thrill, chill, incite, and delight you. From some of the most imaginative minds your species has to offer. This exclusive Indiegogo printing of The Devil You Know Better will be limited and numbered, with signatures from Mike Barron and Hart D. Bishop. Stretch goals achieved through this campaign will add interior chapter illustrations by Stefano Cardacelli. The Devil You Know Better. Back it on Indiegogo today, while you still can.
The little kid noises in the background made it all the creepier.
I know, right? That was perfect.
It's not hell without little kids running around.
Yeah, why do I feel if I'm going to back this campaign, I'm going to lose my soul?
You couldn't have planned that better, man.
Yeah, so
20
this is
tales. Wow.
This is the third anthology that Critical Blast Publishing has done, which it's one of the outreach branches of Critical Blast. It's fourth book. We've done our first anthology was Gods and Services, which was our fantasy anthology. Then we did The Devil You Know, after which we did a hardcover young adult superhero novel called Bulletproof by Stephen J. Mitchell. And then when I saw the cover for The Devil You Know, when I got it from the designers, it was a fist wrapped around the contract. I'm like, save that image, boys. You're going to be using it again.
Right.
So as you can see here for The Devil You Know Better, you've got the two fingers up to, this is book 2.
Right.
And
Clever.
And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, don't. I'm just saying if you do.
Okay.
I mean, you can, it's your show. You'll find that if you don't want the hardcover, the soft cover already exists. It's on Amazon. It's been out there for 2 months. It's a thick book, and it is 20 short novella-length stories of people encountering the devil and what happens with those meetings. Some are horror, some are science fiction, some are comedy, some are folk tales. The genre was open to whatever the writers wanted to do, but it just had to fit that theme. And ever since the first campaign we did, this is actually our first campaign. I've run them for other people, which I have more than one number. But ever since our first anthology, I always wanted to do one thing for new writers, and that was to not only get them published so they can say, hey, I've been published, but to use the connections that I've cultivated over years of doing book reviews for Scholastic and Simon & Schuster and so on, and the interviews that I've done with their authors to get them to contribute to these efforts if I could. And I always have been able to, so that new writers can say, hey, look, I've been published. Oh, and I've been published with these guys that
Right.
So in this particular instance, I knew going in that Mike Barron and Hart Fisher were both going to participate, which is why the hardcover of this, which is going to be an inch taller than this book and an inch wider, so fewer pages because more real estate. Mike and Hart are going to sign the book plates that I'm going to be shipping out to them, and then we're going to fix that to the very front cover. Then I'm going to sign the editorial page and hand number them in the order that they were backed.
Awesome.
Nice.
So it's a $25 hardcover.
Is there going to be like The Devil You Know 3, and it's going to be like The Devil You Know Superior, or The Devil
The Devil You Know Even Better?
The Devil You Know Best, and it's going to have the three fingers are going to be like the rock and roll, kind of thing.
There you go.
So yeah, that's planned. It's probably going to be a year and a half out.
Nice.
Do you already have writers for that one, RJ?
Not yet. I haven't even opened up the period for it. And here's the funny thing is that when I did Gods and Services, I put the call out. I said, here's what we're paying authors. And we'd never done anything before. And I struggled to get those 10 stories just because there were 10 quality stories. And I had name authors again in there, but they didn't know coming in. The new ones didn't know coming in that they were going to be accomplished with these other authors. So when I did The Devil You Know, I'm like, okay, lesson learned. I'm going to open up the reading window another 2 months to give myself adequate time to get enough good stories in. I had 175 submissions.
Wow.
Because
Nice.
Because when they look, it's like, oh, they have published something before.
Yeah.
None of the authors are saying they didn't get paid, so they did get paid. Yes, I will submit to this. And it was the same thing happened with this book. We were just inundated with great stories. So I didn't pick 10 stories for The Devil You Know. I had to pick 20. There were just too many good stories that I just couldn't put aside.
That's
and then, you know,
fantastic. That's a
that
great problem
dictated
to
the
have.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, great problem to have. Too much good stuff. Of course, it cost me money because I had to pay more authors. But I wanted to do, you know, I wanted to do something in a hardcover version, and I wanted it to be limited. So we are in the last 16 days of this one. This is our last 30. We're not extending, and we're not going in demand. So, you know, it's going to be limited to whatever we produce is what we produce. If we produce 20 books, I'm gonna round it up to like the nearest sane number. Like if it's, you know, 17, I may round it up to 25 just to have something to replace damage possibilities that happen because it happens.
Sure.
But yeah, this will be an extremely limited edition. It's currently at the 260 pages, I want to say. Like I said, the book's written. I just had to reformat it for a different manuscript size. If we hit our stretch goals, and you can see that Nefarious had done an excellent graphic, him and Frequency Girl. That's the graphic of the book plate, by the way, that will go on the inside. The the rightmost side of that graphic is the book plate.
Okay.
Where Mike Hart will sign. But further down, there's the stretch goals, and they designed this beautiful.
They're so good at this.
Yeah, they are. I wish that we had images going in there yet, but we don't, because it's a book, and you know, we're all comic book fans, and that's what we kind of prefer and lean toward. I get it. But you saw in the video, Stefano Cardacelli has already done 2 images for this book based on 2 of the stories. I would love, of course, you know, for all 20 stories to get an introductory illustration on each of them. That would, you know, require us hitting that $10,000 mark, because we're going to do it at every $500 mark. Every time we cross $500, a story will get an illustration to it.
Okay.
And I wanted to have 2 in the can, so to speak, so that I had something to show on the campaign.
Right. That's always wise. Yep.
Yeah. And since I've done that, I've seen Stefano's work start showing up on other campaigns that have, you know, we've had on our show. It's like, hey, I know that guy. It's a small world.
2 things then. Number 1, we got to get people to get on this to back it, because the goal is very attainable, folks. 20 novella-sized stories with a whole bunch of different genres, so it'll be a fun read from cover to cover. And then the second thing is, please, you know, reach out to me when you put the call out for the next one, for The Devil You Know Even Better, because I'd like to give it a shot.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, we were all over Twitter with this last one, and then I advertised in Rayland, which is you know, an anthology. If you're writing short stories, you're subscribed to the Rayland newsletter.
All right. Great. Well, this looks like it's a great project. You're right. This is more of a comic book fandom, but honestly, this kind of thing still fits with the genre, as far as, you know, the kind of science fiction and horror and even the comedy section that you said.
And the fun thing about anthologies is, you know, you don't have to start at the beginning. You can like thumb through and say, oh, here's something by an author. I know this author. I'm going to read this one first.
There you go.
Back, read another story, go forward. I don't have a bunch of time for this story, but here's a small one. I'll read it.
Good point. Excellent. Well, yeah.
And it's a really fun mix. I had people helping me slush read it because I had so many things, people I trusted. And, you know, when I sent them the final manuscript, I'm like, here's the order. Like, oh, perfect mix. So it's not like front loaded with all the horror and then, oh, here comes all the comedy stories. It's like just spread evenly throughout.
It's all mixed up. Okay, great. Yeah. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, the comedy section may not be for some people, or maybe they prefer that over the horror. So, yeah, it's good that you mixed it up. People get people's eyes on the various different kinds of genres.
Yeah, it'll be 306 pages if we hit all the 20 of the stretch goals, but I don't expect it to get that big. Hopefully we'll get at least the first 2 in. And like I said, if $25 for a 280-page hardcover isn't your thing, $17 for the soft cover on Amazon, and you know, you might as well add on The Devil You Know just to get, you know, get caught up.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's great to see.
Very cool.
I didn't see that we got joined by Tentacle Pentacle. We've got to say hi to Tentacle Pentacle. And of course, I did show, but didn't say hi to Mo. It's the same unless Mo is in the chat. So thanks, guys.
What's up, Mo?
We are past the top of the hour. No problem there, though, because I definitely wanted to give you each an opportunity to talk about your awesome projects. These all have their value, and some of these have amazing value. So everybody in the chat.
They get an extra 5 minutes because of the Smiling Bandito intermission that we had while
Yeah, we had severe thunderstorms roll through, so it's no wonder that I lost it for a minute, but I was glad I was able to get back as soon as I could. All right. Well, Smiling Bandito, speaking of which, that's a great segue into thank you so much for coming back to be my guest co-host again. It's always
just
a pleasure
happy to
have you.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Always great with the questions. And where can we find you other than here on this show now and then?
I am Smiling Bandito or Michael Sherwood, wherever social media reaches. Typically I'm on Twitter, Smiling Bandito. And I promote all kinds of stuff. So if you have something that you do want to promote or whatever, just hit me up. I'm in most of the promotion chats as well. So
awesome. All right, Justin, how about you? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm all over Twitter. So at Justin K Sweet is my moniker, but everybody knows me as Agent Zero, now Agent Zero Comics. Big story with that, whatever. But I'm bringing back. If you guys remember back in the day, Marvel had a slogan. They would say, "Make mine Marvel." Mm-hmm. Well, Agent Zero Comics, our slogan is "Agent Action Always." And so, real quick, I just want to say this. So you can find me. Find me on Facebook. Email. I'm around. You'll probably just get tired of me before it's all over with. But I just want to show you guys something something else I'm working on. I'm actually trying to get physical floppies into retail locations for vape stores and hemp shops here in Tennessee. And I've actually got two stores that have signed up for it. And when they take comics, which this one happens to be a Luke Stone hybrids reprint from Arrow Comics floppy. Right. I'm actually putting a cgnow.net little QR code in there for people to actually, they're like independent comics. Where do I learn more? And they don't even have to buy a comic to see that. And then that way they can kind of plug in and kind of bypass the mainstream, as it were, and kind of pipeline into where we are. So I'm really trying as a distributor to get these folks floppies out there. So Alternate Comics, big shout out to Pete Cimetti, because I believe in what he's doing and how he says that newsprint is back, and I say bring back the spinner racks.
Yes, spinner racks are awesome. Thank you very much, Justin, for your efforts on that. That sounds like that could be a new grassroots effort. So, more power to you. Julius, we'll go to you next. Where can we find you in the socials?
You can find me at A Lucid Comic on Twitter, where I, retweet cool artwork and I support other indie creators. You can also find me on Instagram at A Lucid PRD. And I also have a YouTube channel, Julius Freeman Comics, where I do live streams. And I also started a interview series with fellow comic book writers. And I talked to them about their approach and their craft and what have you. So the first episode dropped today. I interviewed David Dominguez, otherwise known as B-Rose.
Oh.
So check that out. Yeah, so that's where you can find me on any of those social media platforms.
You started with B-Rose? Really?
Hey, yeah, man, I had to.
B-Rose is he's awesome.
That's another item on your checklist. Everyone has to file to B-Rose's show.
He was a delight. He was a delight to talk to. He was very
I pass up an opportunity to give B-Rose shit. I'm just saying. Anthony, where can we find you in the socials?
At Gambino Studio on Instagram and Twitter. My website is gambinostudio.com.
Awesome. And then lastly, RJ.
We are at Critical Blast everywhere. If there's a social media platform, we've secured the name, so there's no, we're here this way, but we're there that way.
Nice.
That's how. Before we even named the website, criticalblast.com, where pop culture gets blasted, we made sure that we had even distribution across everything was available. As soon as we found the one that was like uniformly available, it's like lock it, get it now. We're done.
Great job. All right, listen, guys, I really appreciate all of your efforts. I appreciate you being on my show. Hopefully it got some more eyes on your projects and backers, or some people to talk about it or tweet about it, whatever it takes. So thanks for being on the Dojo Kun Shill Shack episode number 33. And we are out. Thanks, guys.
Having us.
Thank you, buddy.